going to talk to you today about whole team dynamic organizational modeling and how it helps a team visualize how they're structured so that they can maximize flow. What you're looking at is the model of an agile organization within a telecommunication firm which has made a transition to Scrum. They formed into 6 cross-functional, multidisciplinary Scrum teams to be able to demo or deliver each iteration. Elements of a good model include some kind of legend where you can see the color used for the specific skill. In blue we have digital signaling processing capability, and V&V is verification and validation. Here we have some cross-training going on between test and C++, and here between Java and C++. After 4 sprints, the teams learned that this model was not working for 2 reasons, all centered around these 4 team members who are highly skilled in digital signaling processing. We have 6 Scrum teams needing DSP support and only 4 DSP experts. These scarce skills were spread far too thinly. The second issue that they had was that in order to develop the DSP technology, they needed to develop collaboratively, yet still have time to work with their 6 teams, and that became unbearable.
Beginning with the existing state, we ran 3 iterations of whole team dynamic organizational model, comparing by advantages, and arrived at a whole new model to test. In this new model, there are 7 teams. The DSP team is now a service team delivering DSP functionality to the other teams. 2 of the engineers have taken on additional part-time roles, that of Scrum Master and Technical Writer. There is no PO in this team, and also no additional team members were added. This was a concern because their traditional Scrum training advocated full-stack cross-functional Scrum teams. The organization instead decided to break with tradition and try and experiment by organizing DSP as a service.
The DSP service team got us thinking about service-oriented architecture and how SOA could be applied to organizational design.
We applied SOA principles to teams. In the DSP services team, we emphasized 2 key SOA principles, communication and normalization.
To understand if the SOA principles were working for teams, we ran through 4 operations. Git. How do we see velocity for release planning, for example? Delete. How do we remove a backlog item? Put. How do we reprioritize work? Post. How do we introduce new work?
Don't be afraid to experiment. Remember to iterate. And if you are modeling, have the whole team involved.
If you're finding that the full-stack Scrum team isn't working for you, maybe there's a hidden service in there to exploit. And remember, when you're modeling, to test the model, including the interfaces. I'm going to talk to you today.
This was a concern because
If you're finding the full-stack Scrum team isn't working for you, maybe there's a hidden service to exploit. Remember to test.
This was a concern because
If you're finding that the full-stack Scrum team isn't working for you, maybe there's a hidden service that you have to exploit.